Hey guys, just gonna wait for you guys to come on. Anisha. Let's see if we can get more people on this. How are you doing? Stop being a creep. Okay, we have people coming in. I don't know, can you guys hear me? Does anything needs to be adjusted? Anisha, let me know. Can you hear me? Anisha, can you hear me? Yeah, so we're just gonna wait till people come online. Okay, good. You guys have your tea ready, coffee, chai, anything like that? Okay, we're just gonna wait until people come online, I guess. Okay, we have more people coming online. Hello,
Hey, Angelina. How are you?
I'm good, you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's
How's
so weird on camera because I literally feel like I've not needed to put makeup on for like years. And now having to like go on camera, make sure my hair looks relatively decent, like that really stressed me out.
I know what you mean. Yeah, how's lockdown treating you? How's it going?
I genuinely feel like the first lockdown, I was quite happy. Like I was quite like comfortable in my own like bubble and world. This lockdown, I think, has been harder. Like I think it's just been generally more like mentally exhausting. There's nothing to do. That you feel that element of boredom, and that's the
Yeah.
fact that there's nothing to look forward to so much more. So yeah, I think I'm struggling with this one more than I realized. How about you?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are struggling with the second one. I think the first one it was a bit, the novelty of we get to stay home kind of thing and
Like
work from home. Now it's like,
because you didn't
sorry?
have time. Like the last one, you were just like, oh, you know what? We've not had time to slow down, and you enjoyed that. Now it's like I just want to go out and meet my friends and be out of my like four walls of the home. So I think this one has just been like mentally harder.
Tell me about it. Yeah,
Yeah,
trying to get, but yeah.
Varisha, I feel you. Like just awful.
Cool.
But like, yeah, I'm excited to have the chat. I literally drank my tea, and then I realized that we were doing this, and I was like, I don't have tea to drink because I'm gonna die if I drink more. but I will virtually watch you, have some tea and chat with you.
Actually, to be honest, I had coffee in the morning and I feel super dehydrated, so I'm drinking water.
Yeah. Mug, hot water though, or just normal water in the mug?
It was hot and then now it's not hot anymore, but it's fine.
Oh, amazing. I love it.
So yeah,
Um, I
yeah,
feel like what's going on, you know, I know that we wanted to just like chat about just life, and
yeah.
that although it's Sindhi Girl Gang, I know that when we had our initial chat, we just wanted to talk about just everything going on, how it's affected our lives, and I'm really interested to hear about stuff going on with you too.
We'll do that. We'll take to kind of, I guess, introduce ourselves and what we've been doing and stuff. But yeah, I know I actually, when I started Sindhi Girl Gang, it's been, I think, maybe 2 years now, and I knew I always wanted you to be on it. But I was thinking that once I moved to the UK, I would definitely do it with you because in time difference would make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really, really excited. I feel like maybe you're one of the girls who kind of like inspired me to showcase Sindhi girls that doing amazing things. Because I feel like sometimes in a society we don't really showcase what our girls are doing. So yeah, you're kind of a bit of an inspiration for me, I guess, as well. So
So
yeah.
thank you. No, I feel like, I mean, I see obviously myself in a whole different perspective and light, but I think what the platform created and just everything that you're doing on the platform, I think is amazing, because there isn't really a place for Sindhi girls that, you know, we even collaborate or meet new people. Like there's a lot of brown girl platforms and I think they're amazing. But I think growing up Sindhi is still different. Like there
Yeah.
is a like slight different element of being a Sindhi girl to just being a normal brown girl. And I feel like the platform that you created has just kind of made us find like our little place where
Yeah.
we just understand each other and we just get on. But yeah, I think it's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Because I used to go see those brown Instagram profiles as well, and it would be really nice. But then as soon as I see something that's related to Sindhi, I'll get super excited, and that's when I realized I was like, there's nothing actually for our generation, because obviously the older generation are doing amazing things. They have their societies and they have their lives and they have all of that, but it's always catered to the older generation, like our parents and stuff. But I feel for us, we don't have that, you know. So I thought I saw a gap. And I thought, okay, I can like try and do something
No,
about it. But yeah.
I did like and
Oh no, you're loading. Don't care about this internet.
is
Is
it
it better? Is it not? Okay, sorry.
I don't know if it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you've done an amazing job by creating this platform, and there definitely was a gap and definitely a place that like, you know, although you might feel like you're just posting a picture or a quote or whatever it is, I feel like that relatable content for a Sydney girl, just it can make you, it definitely does make you feel excited. You kind of look at it and you're like, oh my god, they've had the same thing. Oh my god,
Yeah.
they try by lunch. Like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of strange common ground that you don't really get people that you meet all the time that are brown. Like I would be the one person that, you know, when people met me and they didn't know what a Sindhi was, you know, you'd be like, oh, I'm like the only Sindhi you've ever met in your life. Like you just feel like this strange, unique, like human that no one knows what you are, who you are. And I think just having a place where we can all talk and be combined, like I think it's great. Like most countries, I know in Malaysia as well, you just know every single Sindhi person in that place. Like
Yeah.
you just know each other or
Yeah.
you're related in some form or other.
Yeah.
And I think it's to meet overseas and have that mutual like relationship just even through Instagram.
Yeah. And that's the thing with Malaysia is like it was so like we only had 300 families that are Sindhi and everyone knows each other, but at the same time it's like we didn't have guess those friendship groups as you guys have maybe in the UK, because I feel like the number of Sindhis in the UK are a lot larger and you guys have similar age groups, whereas in Malaysia it wasn't like that. And then speaking to people who were like non-Indian and telling them that you're Sindhi, they're like, what is that? It's like I guess the
What?
same experience. Yeah.
you're from Pakistan. Oh, so you're this? Like they just don't understand what we are.
Exactly.
But I also think that though we although even here you know each other and you've grown up together and you kind of understand each other's like, you know, family backgrounds and stuff, I do think that because you know everyone,
Mm-hmm.
there's pressure to just be their best friend or marry them. Like I feel like it's a weird because you've grown up literally people feeling like they're like your siblings.
Yeah.
They've been your family friends from out of the womb, and then you're like at like marital age, or like you've got all these new friends and you're just like, but your parents or families or anyone are like, why are you not mingling with this crowd? Oh, why are you not marrying this person? Like I think it's a different kind of pressure
Yeah.
because of the community so small, and they want you to make sure that we are surviving, I
Yeah,
suppose,
definitely.
making it to the other end.
And I think a lot of Cindy's, I mean, you know, the ones that are on the chat, if you had similar experience of, you know, your parents trying to hook you up with like your childhood best friend,
Literally.
put it in the chat because I'm
They
sure.
literally have mentally chosen who you're marrying, just so
That's,
that you marry this Sindhi person. And I think it happens with a lot of brown people, but I think there's this just different pressure from a Sindhi perspective because
yeah,
they need culture to carry on. They need to like feel like they have continued that legacy because you have married a Sindhi or, you know, had more Sindhi babies, whatever it is. I just a weird kind of pressure.
it is weird. And I think I remember the last time I think you were in Malaysia, we had this conversation about, you know, marrying a Sindhi person and stuff. And I think, you know, both of us have gone a different direction.
No,
But that's the thing, it's like, it's a
your
funny.
husband joined and my fiance joined in the whole process, and I'm
I know,
like,
I just saw his name and then I was like, ah, okay. Yeah, no, it's funny because I feel like we are quite Sindhi, if you know, if you
yeah.
agree with me,
Well,
and
your
we come,
dad is like literally Sindhi King because
yeah,
he's like president of the Sindhi Association in Malaysia,
yeah,
just in case you guys didn't know. And my parents are like these Sindhi socialites of London. Like every human knows them. They are just so well known in the whole community
yeah,
that it makes you feel more pressured. Like you were grown up to think because your parents are like the Sindhi king and queen,
yeah,
you as a Sindhi have to basically make sure that you live up to their name and, you know, do all that
yeah.
kind of stuff. I think it makes it so much harder.
Yeah, and I think what has like over the years, what I've seen is it doesn't mean that if you're marrying outside the community, you're less Sindhi. And I think I'm more Sindhi than a lot of people that I know. And I think Saheli is the same as well. Like, yeah, we're super Sindhi and we're like, you know, really, very close to our roots, but that doesn't decide like who we marry. And I think this is something that people need to start understanding. Um, so yeah, it's
No, I
interesting. It's a very interesting one.
100% see it, and I think like it's really hard. It's hard for a lot any person to marry outside the community. Everyone does feel like they face the pressures of
Yeah,
marriage in their like circle. That, you know, with some people it's caste, with some people it's just generally culture. But I
yeah,
think like we all just need to, I think, feel comfortable following our hearts and marrying for
yeah,
love. And you really inspired me. I know that, you know, I like battling my thoughts with all of it, you know, years and years ago. And I remember we were having a conversation about this, and you were just like, well, I'm gonna be, you know, living with this person. I'm gonna be basically with this human forever. So why am I feeling kind of pressure? Like, why does anyone care? Like, why does anyone give a I don't know if I
yeah,
can sorry, just um, uh, why does anyone give any kind of, you know, shit who I marry? I
yeah.
just such a strange thing that you do feel this pressure to marry or be with someone just because society or the community feel like you need to.
But that's, I think it's also not just in the Indian community, like speaking to other communities, it's the same thing, you know. It's like
Yeah,
obviously you want your kids to marry someone from the same community, and I get it, and I 100% get it. I support it. Everything is like, if you are happy with doing that, then go all for it. But I think what I'm against is like when you start forcing people, and you know, putting like, you know, you have to do this, and then that's when I'm like, okay, this is too much. Um, but
yeah,
it's a society, sometimes the pressure that comes on many girls, many young girls, even many young guys. So it's the same thing.
yeah. No, I 100% agree. And I think, you know, like I said, you really inspired me when you went in your direction. And I was, wow, Angelina, go, Angelina. Like, literally, I was screaming and be like, I was so excited for you because for you, it was a whole different experience.
Yeah.
And I feel like, although I'm engaged marrying an Indian person, I think when it is a non-Indian person,
Yeah.
there's a whole conversation on the line. And sometimes you actually feel like, can I even, like, do I have the energy to
Hmm.
fight this with my family? Like, I know mentally what they think and what they're going to feel about this subject.
Yeah.
So do I want to even go down this route to basically deal with that? And I feel like you really followed your heart. You did what you felt was the most important thing to you. And I was sitting there like, you know what? We everything. Angelina killed it. Like, I was like, this is amazing. And I genuinely, I like still am just so proud of you for following your heart and fighting for your love. Like, I think it's amazing.
That's very encouraging to hear. I think I got a lot of support from, our generation was really good. Obviously, all the generations took time. But yeah, definitely from our generation, it was really nice to hear, and nice to hear you say that, because yeah, it was a tough time, and now like I'm on the other side, and I'm sure other people who are going through similar things. Everyone's experience is very different, so I can't really comment, but yeah, it really helps when you still have support, especially
Yeah.
from your generation. It really, really helps. So it's really nice to hear that. I guess on the topic of marriage and all of that. So tell us a bit about yourself, I guess, your background, and then as well as what your business is all about and how it came about and what inspired you.
So, I mean, for me, I feel like I think I don't know if it's just from upbringing or just the kind of person I've been, but having a business was always like my dream. Like I never imagined working for because I always had such big dreams, ambitions, everything about the lifestyle I wanted to create felt like I had to be my own boss and I wanted that level of flexibility and comfort. And, you know, I knew that it was going to be the harder route
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, especially for example, in this situation, there's no weddings and I have a wedding planning business. You know what I mean? Like, you're taking the scenic route, I kind of choose to call it. Um, and it makes it harder because sometimes you're really alone. Like you feel much more, um, you know, you're independent, but you actually are quite lonely because you don't have people to rely on. But I knew that that's the kind of line I was going to choose, and I was going to be my own boss. And I feel like I've been brought up with so many business owners and people in business around me that that's kind of what made me feel strong enough to take that journey on. I mean, as a person, like I feel like I don't really have my business is my baby, so I don't feel like I really have like other things about me that I'm so proud of or that I like, you know, put my name to. But
Yeah.
my business is like what, you know, wakes me up in the day. Like I genuinely feel like it's my little, you know, just product. So I think with creating the business, with like running it right now, I feel like, you know, it does put everything into perspective with COVID going on, with just seeing people, you know, people have lost their jobs or they're struggling. There's a lot going on, and I think it really makes you feel happy that
Mm-hmm.
you have something that you feel like is your purpose. And I think that's kind of what the whole like sometimes the point of life is. Like we all have so many different things that we want to like wake up for, but I think it's just the element, especially now when things are so hard. You just feel like you need a purpose. Like you need to wake up and have something to do and something to keep your mind busy. And I just think that in this lockdown experience, although I want to, you know, switch things up with my business, know that that is like my purpose, like my thing that makes me feel comfortable and mentally okay. Like that kind of stuff, I think, is like what I've learned in this whole process.
Yeah.
So well, yeah, I feel like with everything going on, we are really lucky to have the shelter, the like life and family that we've got.
Definitely.
You know, you really do get to know yourself
Yeah.
in everything happening, and I think that's been so important.
It is. It's been a journey. And when did you start this Saheli events? Was it three,
I
4 years?
launched years ago. So I launched 2017, and I had like literally had one job just before starting it. So I felt like at the time, the Saheli that I think about in 2017 was a really different person. Like, I literally quit my job and was like, I can do this myself. I don't need anyone. I don't need more experience. I don't do anything. I can just start my business. And I
Yeah.
was 20 and just really a bit naive. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I had literally no clue what I was doing, but because I just believed that I had like all the qualities required, I like threw myself into the deep end,
Yeah.
realized early on that I probably should have waited a bit longer or like had a bit more different kind of experience. But because I threw myself in there and I maybe had like a bit of, I think, ego around it, I was like, no, well now I can't like let anyone down or let myself down. I have to do it. I have to just make it a success.
But I mean, after, you know, from 2017 and now where we are, you've done an amazing, amazing, amazing job. I mean, it's not easy to build something. And for you to take it from scratch to where it is now, you've appeared in the news, which is amazing. The first drive-through wedding, which was like, I had people coming to me who didn't know that I knew you, and they were like sending me these articles, and I was like, yeah, this is Saheli, my
That's
friend. Yeah, and it was like, because I mean it was definitely a big deal here, right? It was like you were on BBC, which was amazing.
I was just, oh my god, honestly, I feel like no one really knows the stuff that was happening during that time when everything went viral. It was my sister's birthday,
Mm,
and I had come back early from my holiday. So I just got engaged. I had to leave my engagement holiday because the turkey was taken off the exemption list and I
yeah.
didn't have time to quarantine. I literally was like, I've got so many things going on. As soon as I come back, I can't quarantine if I go home. So I had to like literally leave the country. I've come back on the Friday and everything's gone viral on the Monday. And I
Wow.
just didn't have time to process the fact that I'm even back in home and I left my fiance on holiday and I've literally like I was in a weird place and I've woken up this random morning thinking, okay, it's my sister's birthday, just gonna take her out for brunch, I'm gonna all of this kind of stuff. And like getting calls from like ITV and BBC and I'm just like
That's
sometimes
amazing.
weird spam calls, right? And you're just like, what's going on? But then it was happening the whole day. I was like, why am I getting all these calls from like the news?
Yeah.
Realized we were in the Times. Like it made me then realize that, you know what, we're actually in the newspaper and that's why all these people are calling me. And that whole day I was the most annoying person to have on brunch. Like my sister was, this is meant to be my birthday, and I'm on the phone to like different people all the time being like, oh yeah, we did this and we did that. And I was it was crazy. And I think like, I mean, I had my 5 minutes of fame, but I felt like I just could not deal with that kind of attention and press. Like I think it was a lot. It was amazing for the wedding that got
Yeah.
featured. I feel the inspiration and hope it gave to a lot of couples was so important to me
Yeah.
because people have struggled this year with anything wedding related. I know you have gone through it
Yeah.
as well. Currently in that process, I know that for a lot of weddings, it's been, you know, just difficult. So I feel like that hope that I was able to give kind of motivated me to do these interviews and, you know, just put that out there. But
Yeah.
it was a lot. It was actually like the most exhausting experience of my life.
But it was amazing because, like, as you mentioned, you started, you know, just yourself and you didn't have much experience, and to bring it up to where it is now,
Yeah.
it's a big achievement, and it's really like it's very nice to see like a Sindhi girl doing it. You know, it's nice to have, I guess, someone to be like, oh, if she can do it, I can do it too. So I really hope like it does inspire all the Sindhi girls around the world, seeing that, you know what, it's not like this is spill the chai, so I'm very open when I speak about things. And like it's not only about, you know, you getting married and then that's it, life's, you know, your life is over. It's, you know, Sindhi girls have so much to themselves that they need to explore, they need to have a career, they need to open their own business. I really find that that's really important. That's what I believe in. And like to see
Yeah.
girls, I guess our age doing that really makes me happy. Because the older generation is different. And I feel like a lot of us, a lot of Sindhi girls, you know, look at the older generation and be like, oh, that's my life, that's how it's going to be, and that's it. And it shouldn't be like that. You know
No,
what
I
I
feel
mean?
a lot of us
Um,
have grown up, or as most brown girls, you kind of grow up with you know, mum or grandparents just generally at home all the time, and
yeah,
you know, it's not been something that I think is a bad thing. Like, I feel like being a full-time mom and being at
yeah,
home as a life is probably more work than just having your average 9 to 5. I think it's just,
100%.
I think it's amazing. But I feel like because we've been brought up in that environment, we have also had this level of independence that's been put into us. Like, I know my own parents, despite everything, have throughout my life said, don't worry about marriage and just men and anything. Focus
Yeah,
on yourself, financially independent, have something to your name, have a you before you ever think about anything else. And I think those kind of things that you're reminded from as a young person, it makes you want to have that independence, that career, that world just for yourself. We don't know what the future holds for us. We don't know what's going to happen, but with everything
exactly.
has changed, like, you know, there are a lot of people and women that you do see in a position where they've put all their eggs in their husband's basket, and then they've literally been left alone. Like,
Yeah,
and I think it's scary and sad, but I think that that plays a part into why our parents have brought us up as wanting to be independent women. So
yeah,
having not having a business, just being able to do something for yourself and build a career or build a community that's for you and makes you happy, I think is so important, because we do, you know, no matter what, no matter who you are or what individual you are, as women always are going to eventually live for someone, whether it's your children or whether it's doing things at home for your husband. Like, I think you lose yourself regardless, and just knowing you've got that thing that's just yours, I think is so necessary, and building it when you're young is even better. Like, you really have an extra passion for it.
yeah, definitely. I completely agree with you. I think, I don't know, I have like quite a spot for these kind of things, and it's definitely like being a full-time mom, it's a hard job, and you know, it's you can't compare to anything else. But I think when you start younger, you have a lot of
Yeah,
energy, you have a lot of ideas, and you start building it. So when it comes to the point where you are, maybe you have to put your hands down a bit, you still have that foundation built for you, and you can always jump back into it, because your kids are going to grow up and they're gonna live their life, and then you don't want to feel lost, I guess. And I feel sometimes a lot of moms out there who feel like, okay, now what? And
yeah,
their husband's doing their own thing, and you know, you are like, okay, now
yeah.
what do I do? It's a bit too late at that point. I mean, it's never too late, but it's a bit harder to get back into the game, you know. So
Yeah,
I think it's really important. Like, I want to inspire younger girls, Sindhi girls, being, you know what, focus on your career, focus on your business, focus on this, and then you are able to give your whole self to someone instead of
I
just
hope
coming.
that kind of
Yeah,
brings you some inner happiness that allows you to be your best self for everything else. So I do agree, like, it's 100% one of the most important things. And we have a little message for us. So
oh,
we know earlier on in the conversation, we discussed this, and we're not trying to be Sindhi. We are Sindhi. And we did discuss that we both have married or are engaged for love. You know, have gone down that path. There isn't a Sindhi person, but it doesn't mean that we've forgotten our roots, and it doesn't mean that we are different kind of people because we're not marrying in the Sindhi community. I think it's just making sure that you keep that culture, you keep those like
yeah,
things that are important to your culture, even for generations that are to come. So I
yeah.
understand where you're coming from, but yeah, we're not trying to be Sindhi or trying to
We
upset
are
anyone.
Sindhi.
Just,
Yeah.
we've just taken a different route when it's come to love and marriage.
I think it's very interesting. I've been thinking about this, and you know what? Like, marrying a non-Sindhi has made me more Sindhi, and the reason being is because you have to try extra harder to keep your traditions and your culture alive.
Yeah.
And I think so. I think last week I posted, you know, about how do you, what Sindhi traditions do you continue? What traditions, you know, how do you keep it alive? And I think when you are in a Sindhi household, you don't think twice about it. But once you leave a Sindhi household, you have to actively, you know, maintain these traditions. And I think that's when you learn more about your culture or yourself, or why am I doing this? So yeah, I think it can go both ways. But I guess my direction
Yeah.
is more, I have to try harder. That means I'm more aware of what I'm doing.
Yeah. No, I think you're 100% right. I mean, I feel like I'm because I'm still living at home and with my parents, I'm probably in that place that you you don't really realize the
Yeah,
things at home that are just
yeah,
so simple or just so part of your culture. And I
yeah,
feel like kind of take it for granted. Like you don't
yeah,
really think about it twice. But I 100% agree. I feel like once I move out of home and I'm married and I'm with my husband, there's a lot of change anyway with any kind of marriage. But I
yeah,
feel like you keep an element of home. And
yeah,
you know, like Schutz has said, like making Sindhi food will be that element of home, or just being
exactly.
able to have an element of home
Yeah,
in your like. I think it's so important to just generally bring those traditions into the families that you create, and it's fused in both our situations. You're fusing
yeah,
two cultures, so you're kind of bringing the best of each culture
yeah,
into your. Oh, sorry, my little battery
for sure.
low thing.
It's all right.
Can you
I
see?
see another one. Yeah, I can see you. It's slightly unclear, but it's fine.
Okay.
I see one. You integrate into the boys' family. This is a good one because I'm also very passionate about this. It's you're not integrating the boys' family. You're making your own home.
Yeah.
It's as much as the girl family and the boys' family. Why is it only the boys' family? You know what I
Did
mean?
you surname?
Sorry,
Have you changed your surname?
I've not changed my surname.
Okay. I'm only
Um,
asking. I was reading something on this because it was all to do with why everything to do with the boy. I literally was
yeah,
reading it the other, and I was like, I mean, I've never thought about it. I
yeah,
literally in my mind always just like thought I'm gonna change my surname, and even now I'm not actually like personally as phased or bothered by it, but I
yeah,
obviously tried, and I feel like this kind of generation doesn't see it as just like you've become that person's family. Like I
yeah,
think it really is blending your families and bringing, like I said to you before, bringing the two cultures together, bringing the two families together, and kind of the best of each tradition that you guys have had, like growing up, like whatever it is. I think it's so nice to bring it together, create your own unit, own memories together, and I feel
yeah,
like that kind of stuff is so much more present right now. Before, it was normal for the girl to literally be like shipped off into
yeah,
the home and grow up in an environment that was so different to her family's, and you then have to become that person's, like an addition of that family. Whereas now, are living separately and you're creating a new life and a home together. I think you
yeah.
both get to how you kind of take that route.
Yeah, definitely with and think going back with the Sindhi food because I lived in Malaysia, I lived at home, I never cooked Sindhi food. Now I moved to the UK, I'm like I need to cook Sindhi food. So I think I'm cooking more Sindhi food than I've ever in my life. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
because you
Because
want
no
to
one
have a
could
bit, like, no matter what you say, you're obviously always going to feel homesick. Like, I am not a Indian food person. Like,
say
I am not the person who's gonna turn around and be like, you know what, I want to eat this Indian food. Like, I just have never been that person. But I know when I'm homesick and I'm feeling like just like I need some comfort, I'll be like, I want this. Like, I know that this is like something from home that makes me just feel good, and I need to learn how to do things just so I can like please myself. So I think everyone deals with that kind of stuff in a different way, but I do think like food and just elements of home that you've grown up with is something that just
yeah.
kind of keeps are important.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like I have to like learn to make certain things because I want to eat it. And it's like if I never moved out from home, I wouldn't have known how to some of the recipes. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, it's interesting. I see with the Sindhi kids, with your surnames for the kids and stuff. So personally for me it's just more like just incorporate two last names. So my kids will have my name and my husband's last name. So it's something that we both want, and I don't want to lose my last name. So I want to carry it on,
yeah,
especially not having, a brother and like the oldest child in the family. I definitely want to carry my last name. So definitely my kids will have my last name and my husband's last name. And I don't see an
yeah.
issue with that at all. Yeah.
No, I don't think that's an issue. I think it's also a conversation like between you and your partner, and just
Mm.
understanding what's comfortable for you. And right, I feel like in my case, there are like 1,000,005 Mirpuris. So I
Yeah.
feel like there are so many Mirpuris in the world, and I feel like maybe that's played
Yeah.
part into what, or, you know, like even if I don't have it, I know
Yeah.
that there's going to be 100,000,000 Mirpuris out there. So I've not
Yeah.
maybe felt that way about things, but yeah, it was something that, like, you know, you get engaged, and then, you know, I know I do this for a living and I plan people's weddings, but being on the other side of it has been a whole different experience. And I feel like there's just all these other things that I had never needed to think about, or like just ever paid that much attention to. And
Yeah.
now I'm like, on if I'm on like Instagram, or if I'm on any kind of social like site, I'm like, oh my god, I need to do this, and I need to think about this, and like, do I want to officially change my name? Am I gonna do, like, it's just a weird place to be, especially
Yeah.
when you now have extra time on your hand, like you're at home and you have just a weird amount of time to think.
Yeah. And I feel like everyone is different, so everyone's gonna have like a different stand on this and feel comfortable with like what they're doing. And I think this is the thing: do what you want. You know, like it doesn't matter. Like if you want, don't change your name, don't change your name, change your name, change your name, have both names. So it's
And
fine. I
I like,
think cut off.
my sister messaged me telling me my Wi-Fi is awful, even though we're
Uh,
next door to each other.
it's clear now though. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I turned it off. I thought I'll just go on to 4G, and I think it should be better
Yeah,
now.
it's good now.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, I was like, you know what? Everyone has a different stance on this, and it's like, we do what you want. If you want to change your surname, change your surname. If you guys want to incorporate each other's surnames, do that. So it all depends on individual.
Yeah,
Um,
100.
I mean, like, I never agreed with the Sindhi tradition of the girls should change their first name. I
Really crazy, but I
I
didn't know
I
that this was.
don't understand it. I'll never understand it. But
I honestly, up until now, like even when I've mentioned it to other people, that,
yeah,
like, I think it's the weirdest thing. Like,
yeah,
I get the sentiment behind it because I've asked so many questions about
yeah,
it, understand it all. But like, what? Like, you lose your entire identity. Like,
exactly.
what? Like, why did they make you do that? And I'd said to my family from, like, I think I must have been a teenager, and I
Yeah,
was like, I want all of you to know, I don't care what they say at this wedding, like, I am not changing my first name. Like, your last name is one thing, okay? To change your first name, like, who even is then Saheli Mirpuril? Like, why am I, like why would I want to build up to be this person,
you would
and
have
then suddenly,
disappeared. Literally. Your and the thing is, your business is hatched with your name. It would be like you would have had a different name, and then your business would have been like Saheli Events. Like what?
oh my, honestly, it was like, it was something I grew up thinking was just an Indian thing. And
Yeah,
I realized, you know, you, like, when you're talking to people in school, you're just like, just around other brown girls. I was like, oh my
yeah,
god, this is just a Sindhi thing. And, like, you know, I even to now see the situations that, for example, my mum is in, like, the fact that her whole name had to change to her
yeah.
passport, or we'll go to Malaysia and she's known as a whole different name. And I think it's so weird.
It's weird.
I think it's crazy. I can't even, like, process how big of a change that would make me feel if I married someone and then they had to just start calling me a different name.
That's wild. That's
Like, I think they would find it weird too. Like, oh, you're not Saheli anymore. I met Saheli, but I married, like, you know,
someone else. Yeah,
Karina. Like, I don't know. Like I would just be like, who is Karina? I don't know why
yeah.
you're talking
You'd be like Karina, and you'd be like, who? Like
to me.
who's this other side chick? But yeah, no, it's crazy, and I think the older generation might think like, oh, it's a small thing, but it's our identity. Like, how can you take our identity away? That's the thing. Is going back to the whole core thing, being like, getting married doesn't mean you're losing yourself. I think getting married is more about like going your whole self and just being better together instead of just trying to, I don't know, change your whole self to be with someone else. But yeah,
No,
it's
I
crazy. But
also,
yeah, no, of course, it's part of the Sindhi cultures that we like, definitely, and that we cherish and stuff. But some of it is just, I think, has to be questioned. In my personal opinion, that's it. I mean, everybody has different views.
with a lot of cultures, and, you know, it's not just a Sindhi thing. I think a lot of cultures have adapted and grown, and kind of moved a little bit more with society and times and everything. But I feel
Yeah.
like because the Sindhi community is, you know, much smaller and kind of dying, I
Yeah.
feel like we haven't really progressed as
Yeah.
much and we haven't really adapted as much because everyone's, you know, viewed it in a different way. And I don't really know how to help that. And I feel like it's quite sad. I do
Yeah.
think something that, you know, people do need to discuss. Like, you know, we grew up thinking it was actually quite embarrassing sometimes. Like, I never learned to speak Sindhi. I wouldn't meet you for coffee and randomly belt out some Sindhi words because we were kind of made to feel like we needed to be like accepted
Exactly.
and English. Oh my god, what is going on? Yeah, we need to be, yeah, more like part of normal culture. And I think it's really quite sad because
Yeah,
now I wish I had a secret language while we're at a shop and we could just speak in Sindhi. Like,
for
like
sure. Yeah, like I think it's funny because I'm sure people be like wondering, why we don't speak Sindhi. And it's funny, both of your parents are Sindhi, you're fully Sindhi, and both of my parents are fully Sindhi, and we both
yeah,
don't speak Sindhi. And it's like now thinking about my kids, I'm like, well, actually, I need to speak, like teach them Sindhi. And it's because I want to, you know what I mean? So it doesn't mean
yeah,
that if I married a Sindhi partner, we would be speaking to them Sindhi. I came out not speaking Sindhi, you came out not speaking Sindhi, and it's like, okay, so that doesn't guarantee.
really. Like if I'm around a Sindhi conversation, I literally can sit there knowing everything they're talking about. If they want me to reply, I'm
Mm,
just like, am I speaking Sindhi? Am I speaking Hindi? I don't really know. Everything's kind of merged together, and I just end up speaking
yeah,
English accent, and I'm like, what have I done?
yeah,
What my mouth?
yeah,
So yeah, I think teaching it is a whole different subject, and I feel like I don't know. I just feel like when we grew up, like it was just made to feel like a different, like we didn't see the importance of it because we really didn't know that we were meant to learn just so it could be a skill that we are able to pass down. For us,
definitely.
like we just want to speak English to our friends, and why can't our grandparents just speak English to us? Like we just didn't get.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I
and
think
I think the reason I'm starting this platform is to kind of help with that. I think I know there's a lot of Sindhis in India which are fortunate enough to be surrounded with people who speak Sindhi to them, and they fluently speak and stuff. And then there are the other part of Sindhis who are all around the world, and it's, I guess, facing the same things that we're facing. That we didn't really learn or we
yeah,
didn't pick up the language. And this is why we need to create, I guess, more connections and more platforms for Sindhi, girls and guys to pick it up. We do wanna to to keep the traditions and to keep our language and all that kind of thing. So it's a slow
yeah,
process, but we have to try. Um,
we've definitely got
yeah,
to try our own effort in, and I know that everyone's kind of got their own way of bringing those traditions to life, and we all have been brought up in, although in different environments and places, there are so many things that are genuinely so Sindhi that are universally Sindhi. And I think having a place that we can share that kind of stuff and make sure that we bring it into our world,
yeah,
I think it's important. And I think, you know, even you just making this platform to start something like that and just allow everyone to slowly kind of incorporate it into their day-to-day life, I think is quite magical. And I feel like as I've gotten older, I've seen the importance and the relevance of it. I just think it's a really hard step to take because you kind of feel like you have to change
yeah.
and figure out, you know, how to incorporate it without affecting like a lot of your life. So I think, you know, being able to have that step, being able to do it together would be such a good idea and such a nice way to keep everything alive.
Yeah, and I think we have to do it in a way where, I mean, your parents are involved, with the Sindhis in the UK and London, and my parents are involved in back home in Malaysia. And the thing is, it's never really appealed to us sometimes because it's always very much targeted to
But
the older generation.
I feel all the time because everyone else in your generation isn't attending or going or part of it. Like
Exactly.
everyone's Sindhi friends in this situation. Like my cousins are like my
Yeah.
best friends. they're all of different ages. Like literally the age range is out of this world.
Yeah.
But we all obviously understand each other and get on with each other in a certain way because we've been brought up at, like, although they're in Malaysia and
Mm.
I'm here, we've been brought up in different worlds, but
Yeah.
our traditions and the way we do things and the fun that we find is in the same place. And I think that's a really like amazing thing, that we understand each other just because of these Sindhi traditions and situations that we've
Yeah.
been brought up. But in the same way, there are lots of people in London that are in that position. We just don't naturally feel like, let's go to the Sindhi community centre and hang out.
Exactly.
You would be
Exactly.
like, I'll message my 2 Sindhi friends and maybe we'll like go for dinner. And I think things like that, just like increasing the like bond between everyone is quite important, and just making sure that it's made to not seem uncool.
And it's
Isn't
be a
actually
genuine bond.
friends are normal? We should
Yeah.
just hang out.
Yeah, and it should be a genuine bond. Like I think you mentioned at the beginning, like, oh, because you're Cindy, you're automatically my best friend. Like it doesn't work like that nowadays. You know, it's something that you have to organically build. And definitely like the ideas you say, you know, call up someone and be like, let's go for dinner. It's way more genuine than like, let's go for a Cindy party. You know what I mean? Like it's not like
It's need the volleyball. Like
yeah,
if
let's go meet at the volleyball.
but we'd all actually like enjoy it. Like we would all go and enjoy it and have a great
Definitely. Yeah.
But there's like something that kind of puts you off, and I don't know what it is that makes you feel like, there's a lot of Sindhis. Oh my god, there's a lot of family, friends. No, I'll just
Exactly.
like that's the kind of mindset you go through, and I don't know what it is that we can like change that.
Do you think it's the judging of Sindhi people of other Sindhi people when you go to these events?
Like brown people, even just any people, go through the judging.
Yeah.
Like go through that like annoying aunties and scary questions. I feel like that's just a general brown person problem.
Yeah.
But I do genuinely think that Sindhi pressure is so off-putting sometimes, and also that everyone knows each other too well. Like you don't just go to a party and meet like random people. Like they're literally like everyone that you have been born and brought up with. Like every human, everything about you, your family, they just know everything. And I feel like that just, you have to be a certain person and in a certain mood to deal with it. Like, we all enjoy the great weddings, we all enjoy being in those environments, like when you have to be there. But like when you are choosing, you're like, do I really want to go and have a conversation with you know, Auntie Karina, whatever it is. Like,
who's Auntie Karina?
I think of an aunt I like don't really know.
No, definitely. I feel you, and I'm sure there's like a lot of Sindhis around the world who are kind of feeling the similar thing, being like, you know, yes, we love our culture and we want to learn more about it, but then when it comes to like these social events, sometimes it can feel a bit uncomfortable. And I'm sure, like, I've experienced the one in Malaysia, and I know that your cousins are very much involved in it now with the youths and trying to get it start up. I keep hearing stuff, and I'm like, this is amazing, this is great, but I also understand the challenges, you know, that people sometimes feel reluctant to, I guess, come and join and support and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we need to, I think a great thing to take away from this is kind of find ideas or ways where we can incorporate, like, you know, Sindhi friends and like try and build something on it, because we definitely don't want to lose the culture and the traditions and stuff like that.
Yeah, I completely agree. The thing is, I actually feel like you said in the beginning, we are really Sindhi. Like we're really like both of us have this like weird like excitement. You know when you like are watching a Bollywood movie and they like refer to a Sindhi person, or like the actor or actress, it's like, oh my god, we're not like in the national anthem, and the fact that they say Sindhi, you're just like, oh my god, like all obviously really excite you. It's so important to feel like proud of being part of the culture. But I feel like we don't want to do things in the same way that our parents have. And I think ways that we can incorporate this and, you know, build this community, or rebuild it rather, for our generation and people to come, without it feeling like this extra pressure or feeling like a forced thing. Like I think it's just changing the mindset of making it not seem like it's an uncool to hang out and learn the language and randomly like learning the food, like just randomly having a group to be like, have an unnecessary Sindhi cooking class and just learn to make these things. I think could be such a fun way that we all bonded, learned things, and we were able to build on this culture, but stuff that we know is actually going to make a difference to our life in 10 years. So I think that kind of stuff is so important. Like, you know what? I might just make this. I'm going to message you later and be like, Angelina, should we start a cooking class?
Definitely.
Like, I so do things like that, and I think everyone would enjoy it.
Definitely. It's like, especially, yeah, with cooking class, I'm in, like, my in-laws and on Cindy's, and they're like, you know, make different things, and they want me to cook Cindy stuff, and I'm like, I don't actually know how to cook Cindy stuff. So it'd be great, like, you know, to actually share ideas and introduce non-Cindy people to our culture as well. You know, I think it'll be really great to educate them, and yeah, it'll be interesting to do for sure, for sure. But yeah,
In such a nice chat.
I know.
I feel like we haven't even spoken properly for a while, and everything in lockdown's been just making us crazy. So this is quite a nice way to feel a bit social as well.
I see. Please start Cindy Cooking Club.
Oh my god, all these new messages coming up. Yeah, oh my god, honestly, guys, message us. I will actually start the Sindhi Cooking Club. I'm so ready for this. As soon as we can, I'm gonna get one of our friends, family friends, check out a good fun Indian auntie and tell to be our like teacher.
You know what would be great? Like, I guess 3 dishes. This is just off the top of my head. 3 dishes that can be cooked in like really quick, you know, after work. You want to have some dal and rice.
We like our environment and our daily life. Like, I do they're thinking.
Because when I think about Sindhi food or Indian food, I'm like, oh my god, it's going to take me like 3 hours. Anybody got time for that right now? You know what I mean? Even though we're in lockdown, but we have stuff going on. So it'll be great if, I mean, anyone out there, any ladies or even guys who cook Sindhi food, like if you have any ways of like shortening the process or any tricks, let us know. Maybe we can share, which would be like really cool. Like maybe something in 45 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. They should be quick, fun food, still taste like home.
Yeah, definitely. I'm you know, kind of like, I want some dal and rice. Even though I can try and cook dal, it doesn't come out the way it's supposed to. So yeah, it'd be great to get
also,
to stuff.
Indian food, everyone's got their style. Like, you can search a recipe and make it in a certain way. It's like going to a restaurant and all the dals will taste completely different in different restaurants. So I feel like sometimes you just need to know how to make it like home.
Yeah,
like, it's very to get that right balance. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna work on this. I'm gonna figure it out. It's gonna be my passion project, and I'm gonna be like, Angelina, we're ready to post. And
I love it how it's inspired you. Like, see, our conversation just inspired you to do something Sindhi, which is great. I love it. Like, you know, just I think it should be something that we enjoy doing, and it's not a chore. I think once it, you know, you think it's a chore. When a lot of people think cooking is a chore, and I see it too because I'm not a fan of cooking. But you know, once you get excited about it, and you know, people inspire you, it's great. Yeah, the end product's not any better. But yeah, no, it was great. And I guess just like final thoughts and stuff. Like, what advice would you give to young Sindhi guys and girls? You know, I guess, you know, the ones that just finished uni or going into uni, and it's like, what would you tell them? You know, as a Sindhi girl, as a Sindhi sister.
Like, general advice for like anyone who's like, even for if I was younger, something I wish people told me. Like, I feel like when you come out of uni, you just feel like you need to have everything together. You feel like I'm now out of uni, I have a job, and I need to get married in 4 years. I need to. It's like there feels like this extra amount of pressure to just get everything under control. And the truth is, it's just okay. Like, these are like actually the best years of your life. Like, everyone says it's uni, but actually the best of your life are after uni, like these like mid to late 20s. And I think you should just enjoy it. Like, let yourself feel young, like explore the world, go like all of this kind of stuff that you wouldn't be able to do as easily. Like, you can obviously do it later in life, but I feel like you wouldn't be able to do it as easily or without that responsibility. Like, right now, you have nothing to feel responsible for. Like, you can just enjoy. So I just feel like you just should just enjoy your life. Don't rush everything. Like, take it as it comes. You don't have to have it together. You might figure it out in 10 years. but that's completely fine. At least you got to enjoy the journey.
I love that. I feel like, you know what, life is life. Life is hard, and that small amount of time that you have, enjoy it, because, like you said, you don't have responsibilities, much responsibilities. Why not just try different things, take few risks? I mean, I'm not encouraging anybody to do anything stupid, but you know what I mean. It's like
Yeah,
enjoy it, enjoy that time where you can
it's the
experience.
time to make mistakes and kind of feel less pressure for failing or falling.
Yeah,
Like, we are the only people that are gonna suffer the consequences. Whereas when you're older, other people are gonna maybe be affected by the decisions that you take. So yeah, why don't you just do it now while you can?
and
It's such a nice idea.
and especially like you took the risk, to start your own thing at an early age, and look where it's benefited you now, where you are now, so like I hope people can learn from that. you know Try it. Why not? Sometimes you just need to do some stuff and just see if it works. It works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Then you move on and you learn from those kind of experiences. So I think it's really important to kind of do that. And I think, just to add, give yourself some time, pay attention. Self-care, like I'm going to speak about it soon, about self-care and what I actually mean by self-care. Because once you fill your glass up, you're able to take care of other people. So
Yeah,
I think that's really important. Definitely take care of yourself, in the sense of making sure your mindset is good, and you're strong
yeah,
enough to face anything that comes your way later on. So it's really, really important to invest in yourself.
yeah,
But
100%. For your best, you're able to do your best. So I'm with you there. But Angelina, thank you so much. It's been so nice chatting to you. I actually can't see any more like comments or things that are coming up. I don't know what's happening with my phone, but I'm excited to see who might be interested in our cooking class.
definitely, maybe I'll post
So
about it, and then you guys can comment, or
excited to
just
do something like, yeah, on this lockdown's over, we can make it like a fun little thing. But yeah, you've definitely inspired me. You always inspire me. But it's been so nice to have a conversation
like.
that's just about like things we don't normally talk about when we meet, and I think it's been quite nice. So thank you so much for having me.
Same. I will speak to you soon, and thank you for everyone who joined us. And yeah, I hope we inspired you somewhat. But yeah, take care, guys. See you soon. Bye.